Thankfully, the radar is quiet right now, but that will not be the case later on today. It's another weather alert day. I'll show you when the storms arrive today coming up.
And this morning we have team coverage. Overnight storms led to flooding across the triangle, and more storms are expected this evening. What you need to know about conditions before you head out the door.
Also, last seen in Raleigh. Right now there's an active Amber Alert for a 13-year-old girl. What we know about the investigation into her whereabouts after being spotted at a Raleigh bus station. Welcome you in here on our Thursday morning as we get things started. A lot to tell you about here. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center in for Elizabeth, tracking what weather we have out there right now and what's to come. The threat is not over, Amy.
That is right. We're going to see another round of rain and storms today. Thankfully, radar is quiet locally right now, but we still have some roads out there that are impacted from the heavy rains that fell overnight. This is a look at some of the storm reports in the last 24 hours. Numerous flood reports, especially from the Triangle and points to the north, but we also had some wind damage reports in some of our southwestern counties, some trees down that caused a few power outages as well. And unfortunately, we expect another round of some of those storms later on today. It's going to be the second half of the day that we see some of those showers and storms. A flood watch in effect for everyone today. We also have a level 1 severe threat. The biggest risk will be some strong damaging winds that could take down some trees and cause some power outages. So here's the timeline. This afternoon, it's just a 30% chance for storms, but storm chances start to go up around 6 o'clock, and then they're pretty high after sunset, up to an 80% chance for some of those storms later on tonight. Wanted to mention the visibility, reduced visibility in Roxborough, just a little bit of patchy fog there. You can see some of those low clouds in Roxborough right now, but nothing really widespread. Temperatures right now in the 70s. High temperatures today will likely stay in the upper 80s, Ken.
All right, Amy, at 6:02 happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Because of the stormy night that we had and the road debris that we've been reporting on, we have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roads this morning. Heidi Kirk, photographer Charles Bradley. Right now, they're parked on Blue Ridge Road. And Heidi, you've been driving around all morning, so set the scene where you are and let us know what you've seen all morning long.
Well, Ken, just within the last few minutes, we actually had Raleigh storm water arrive here. They're going to pump up some of this water that we've been seeing standing on the road here near Normac Drive, about a mile from Crabtree Valley Mall. Now, we've seen areas like this all across the Triangle today, actually standing water on the road. We actually drove up on one spot where there was a tree across a road in Raleigh. Now, crews have handled that, and now they're handling this, but it's important as you head out for the morning commute, you've got to be aware you could see something like this out on the road. We've seen lots of cars coming up to this, having to turn around. So it does cause a little bit of a hassle for drivers this morning, but if you're aware of it, it's going to make it easier on you. Ken?
All right, of course, Blue Ridge is one of our main secondary roads that's closed compared to Monday, where we had a number of secondary road closures. We're going to keep you updated on what's happening there on Blue Ridge Road. But for right now, all our major routes from Wendell to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour. Listen, traffic will be constantly changing this morning. When you get into your car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated.
Our team coverage of this latest round of severe weather takes us to Durham. That's where Ali Kadlubar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on University Drive. Ali, quite a large tree that came down behind you during the storm, the root ball almost as tall as you are.
Yes, Renee, and yeah, we just last half hour, we did see just how massive that base was, and now we're at the top part of the tree, and I did a rough measurement. It was 90 feet tall, about, possibly more than that, and now it's just all branches and leaves scattered in front of this person's home. So there's actually a home behind this tree and a car underneath all of these branches. So some major damage that this resident's going to be waking up to this morning. It also did some damage to this utility pole at the top right there because that tree crashed down. We know that those storms this week soaking the soil here, causing this to fall, this massive tree to fall. It did block University Drive for a few hours overnight, but crews did cut down those branches, clear the roadway for people. So we are still working to speak with the homeowner here about this mess that now sits in their front yard. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
Pretty noteworthy update here in the WRAL Life Center as we're seeing more people get their power turned back on. So if you were here with me around the 5:30 part of the hour last hour, where we had maybe, this looked like 6,300, but now look at that, 4,980. So we're seeing improvements here in the Triangle area in terms of outages. I can zoom out so you can see what it kind of looks like from afar, but it looks like the improvement mostly is in the Durham area, but there you go, right about here. And actually, it's actually downtown Raleigh that saw the improvement there, so that's good. Several hundred people in downtown Raleigh, but Durham looks like it's at 157 as the power is returning there. We'll keep monitoring this to see when everybody has their power back on here in the WRAL Life Center.
Thanks for that, Chris. Durham is waterlogged and saw even more flooding as the storms moved through in the night and into early morning hours today. This is video from Cyril Jolly of Madison Street in Durham. You see several cars left in the high water right there. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is in Durham this morning, and following the flooding, the people there who captured that video, they've been trying to help their neighbors who no doubt had a sleepless night last night. Kelsey.
Yes, Jeff, and right now we're on University Drive here in Durham. This is one of the areas that Durham police actually sent an alert about yesterday, warning drivers to avoid this street. But right now it's all clear if you have to drive here later this morning. But we're going to take you to some video now from Facebook, some viewer video where you can see water just rushing down Madison Street here in Durham. Now, people who live in this area say that it floods there often. Dakota Jolly explains how her husband had to help people after their neighborhood flooded.
Cyril tonight stopped someone across the street from turning their car on because everything underneath their car was wet, and he was like, your electricity might fry if you cut your car on.
And just a reminder for everyone this morning, make sure that you clear out your storm drains if you can. That will prevent them from getting blocked and potentially causing even more flooding. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
The body of the second boater missing on Jordan Lake has been recovered. That brings Chantal's death toll to 6 in North Carolina. 2 men were last seen launching their canoe Sunday evening in Chatham County, and the body of the first boater was located Tuesday. Authorities have not released either of their names. 2 people were found dead in Alamance County, a man and a 23-year-old woman. An 83-year-old woman's body was found in Chatham County, and a woman who disappeared while on her way to work from Person to Orange County Sunday night was found dead Monday.
And Renee, out of all this happening today, Durham is getting a victim assistance center to help those who have been affected by the flooding from Tropical Storm Chantal. Representatives from the State Department of Insurance will be on hand providing insurance-related support from that storm. And the Assistance Center will be held from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the cul-de-sac near 510 Seven Oaks Road in Durham. Now's the time to be sure you have our newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is the best way to get those all-important, timely alerts straight to your phone when storms move through your area. Just remember to have those push notifications turned on. This is a free app for you.
We want you to be aware of an Amber Alert. This is for a teenager from the western part of our state who was last seen in Raleigh. This is Valeria Gonzalez Hernandez. She's 13 years old and is from Surrey County. She was last seen at a bus station on Capitol Boulevard on June 25th, and she was captured getting off the bus carrying 2 bags. You can see that in that surveillance video on your right. The FBI, SBI, and agencies are now searching for this child. If you see her or if you've seen her, please call 911.
A Raleigh police sergeant has resigned after being charged with threatening a man with disabilities at a restaurant. According to an arrest warrant, 37-year-old Wesley Lane approached the man's table, picked up a knife, and accused the man of threatening his daughter. It happened at the Western Sizzlin' Steakhouse in Dunn, June 25th. The Raleigh Police Department confirmed Lane worked with the department since 2010. He resigned Monday, a few days after the charges were filed.
North Carolina's first standalone children's hospital is coming to Apex. Our NC Capitol team was the first to report UNC Health and Duke Health are finalizing a deal to build North Carolina Children's at the town's Viridia development. The multi-billion-dollar project is expected to create thousands of jobs in western Wake County and spur even more development. Plans for the hospital were announced in January. A site has not been officially announced. People familiar with the negotiations tell WRAL the announcement could come as soon as today. For more on the project, go to the NC Capital section of WRAL.com. Aid to Texas, a Nash County cadaver dog being sent to help with recovery efforts along the Guadalupe River. Details of Fiji and his handler's new assignment.
And weather service alerts during a city council meeting in New Mexico. Will walk you through the timeline of when people were alerted about deadly flooding there.
And another round of flooding possible in our area. We're under a medium risk for flooding for today. I'll show you when the storms will arrive in your area coming up.
And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers on your screen. 5, 9, 25, 28, 69. The Powerball is 5. The multiplier is 2.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in for Elizabeth this morning. This is a look at last night, 8 p.m. Look at the radar. We had numerous waves of showers and storms roll through the area late last night, overnight last night. Things are much quieter this morning. The radar is quiet, just a 20% chance for rain in the next 3 hours with temperatures holding steady in the 70s. A little bit of low cloud cover out there, a little bit of patchy fog, and that's about it. But we have another round of storms headed our way. Most of the area under a medium risk for flooding today. It is another weather alert day today, and a lot of this will come this evening and tonight. A 50% chance beginning around 6 o'clock this evening. The biggest concern, flash flooding and the potential for some damaging wind gusts. We'll take a look at this with Futurecast coming up, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, your window on your morning commute. Let's start here in Cary, US 1 and 64 at Walnut Street. You can see traffic really beginning to pick up there on US 1, but flowing nicely in all directions. In terms of I-40 westbound, maybe you're coming in from Johnston County this morning, Highway 36 to the Beltline, no delays. That southern loop of the Beltline, delay-free at this hour. Listen, you're getting ready to head outdoor. Tune us in on the radio. We've got you covered. 101.5 HD3.
Dozens of workers were trapped after an industrial tunnel collapsed in Los Angeles. Those rescue crews successfully got to and saved 31 workers who were trapped in that tunnel. The collapse was reported just before 8 o'clock last night. The tunnel was filled with workers who were located about 6 miles beneath the surface. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. It is not clear how that tunnel collapsed.
At least 3 people died in flooding on Tuesday after New Mexico's Rio Ruidoso riverbanks swelled. Now, city leaders are discussing why they didn't get more warning before the heavy rainfall started. Michelle McConaughey is here now with details of that discussion.
Yeah, Renee, starting at 6:55 on Tuesday morning, the National Weather Service issued a flood watch for the burn scars around Ruidoso, saying to expect heavy rainfall. The scheduled Ruidoso Council meeting started at 1 p.m. And around 12 minutes later, people's phones started going off. That alert was a flash flood warning from the National Weather Service. And then at 2:41, the National Weather Service warned people to move to higher ground. Then 8 minutes later, a flash flood emergency is issued, saying a life-threatening situation is unfolding. As a result of the severe flooding in this area, 3 people died yesterday. This is the same area that saw significant wildfires and flooding just last year.
Thanks, Michelle. Only on WRAL, a Nash County deputy and K-9 have been sent to Central Texas to help in the massive effort to find dozens of missing people. Sheriff Keith Stone tells WRAL FEMA and Texas authorities specifically requested help from their team in light of their Helene response. WRAL captured some of that work last fall as Deputy Jack Thorpe's cadaver dog Fiji searched Lake James for bodies. Now Texas needs that expertise as families are desperate for answers.
They can go around these mass debris fields and even under the dirt, and they can locate bodies. We get calls every week for sending our dog out to places, and it's a very difficult job. It's a very heartbreaking job. And you can only imagine there's school children out here, there's children, there's loved ones, there's families.
And officials say more than 120 people have died as a result of that flooding in Texas. More than 170, though, are still missing.
The devastating impacts from severe weather, whether it's Texas, New Mexico, and for us, it has been quite the week. Amy, first Chantal, and then last night's storms, and then now another round of storms coming tonight.
Unfortunately, our ground just can't handle much more rain, and we're going to get some today. We have another weather alert day. The best storm chance today is going to be from around 6 o'clock this evening until 11 o'clock tonight. The concern is that we have very weak upper level winds, and so these are going to be slow moving storms again that will likely lead to additional flash flooding. Damaging winds also a concern today, a level 1 risk, so we could have some trees down and some power outages, which we saw some of that overnight. Thankfully, right now, the radar is quiet. This will look way different later on today. It will be active with showers and thunderstorms, and I do expect the potential for flash flooding. And here is one of the reasons. Just in the last 12 hours, we've had some very heavy rain from Wake County and points to the north, over 3.5 inches in some spots. So do plan for at least some flooding. Have a way to get warnings today. A flash flood watch in effect for everyone. Parts of our viewing area have had 200 to 600% of normal rainfall just in the last 7 days. So again, the ground is completely saturated. And I mentioned we have the level 1 severe threat today. Severe storms will be possible, with the biggest threat being damaging winds. There is the concern for additional river flooding. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is standing by with the details on that. Grant?
Watching a couple of flood warnings right now. These are back in areas west of the triangles. This is through Burlington all the way down through Pittsboro. You can see a couple of flood warnings in place. This first one in effect through 11:40 a.m. this morning. So it's at that closer to the peak flood stage it'll be at, and it'll decrease over time. But this area, and this is near Hall River at Bynum, they've got a flood warning. They are in place through 9:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. So watch for an increased flood threat in those spots later today and also into Friday as well. So fortunately, Hall River will hit that peak flood stage at around 8 a.m. this morning, and then it will decrease through Friday and into the weekend. But there's a couple of other areas we're watching. This is Hall River near Bynum. You can see up to over 11 feet by 8 p.m. That minor flood is at 11 feet, so it'll be just over that flood stage. Could see some minor flooding in a few spots near there, and also Neuse River at Smithfield. You can see just over 15 feet at times. That would be in that minor flood stage there as well. So watch for some flooding possible along some of our rivers. Of course, you have the WRAL weather app. Turn those alerts on to make sure you get those flash flood or flood warnings for your area. Rain chances up to 80% by 9-10 o'clock. It's the best chance to see those showers and storms, and with that, a couple of threats in place. That's why we have a WRAL weather alert day in place. It's going to be a hot day, around 90 degrees. Not quite as hot as the past couple of days, but still hot out there. Heat index values approaching 100 degrees for areas closer to the sandhills. And then by Sunday and Monday, temperatures in the mid 90s. So it's going to be hot once again by then as well. More chances for isolated storms with more scattered storms by Monday. So more rain chances on the way. Fortunately for tomorrow, not as much rain as we'll see later today. Another chance for some strong storms. Ken?
All right, Grant, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. No crashes to report anywhere in Wake County and surrounding communities right now. Most of our routes are delay-free, and one of those routes, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, you can see traffic flowing nicely in both directions. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Over in Durham, we've got I-40 and Fayetteville Road, traffic flowing nicely as well. We do have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roads. Here's a quick live look at Blue Ridge Road. Crews have been siphoning out that water. This is about a mile from Crabtree Valley Mall. This is just one major secondary road closed compared to a number of secondary roads that we had closed on Monday.
Thanks, Ken. Gunfire in Wake County. Deputies say a person was taken to the hospital after a shooting. What we know about this investigation.
And helping rescue teams. Flood damage in Person County worsened with additional rain after Chantal. How one man is taking care of the first responders in his neighborhood.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A musician and actor is giving back to his home state after disaster.
Also, some celebrities that call North Carolina home will be recognized for their work. Ken Smith here now for What's Trending on our Thursday, Ken.
Jeff and Renee, let's start with the North Carolina celebrities. The country music announcing the special honorees for this year's show. North Carolina natives Eric Church and Luke Combs will be awarded this year. They will get an ACM Honors Trophy alongside other artists like Jelly Roll, Cody Johnson, and Lainey Wilson, superstars.
Yeah, very nice. And Luke Combs, a global superstar, you know, the App State alum. His hits have climbed the charts in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Europe. So there's the international appeal there. His award will be for his international appeal because he furthered country music interest overseas.
Big fan of Luke Combs. So how about this? Actor and musician Dennis Quaid supporting flood relief efforts in Texas. A native Texan, he's from Houston. Quaid recorded 15 and 30-second radio PSAs. Now, those announcements are part of a larger outreach effort to encourage listeners to support flood victims and aid recovery in the affected communities there in Texas.
A lot at stake. He's a Houston native, and always hits different when the celebrities get involved. It's nice to see.
In Person County, the additional rain is making flooding from Chantal worse. Roads are washed out, including Hester Store Road, still gone in multiple places. At Hyco Lake, storms sent boat owners, tow companies, and neighbors racing to recover loose boats and docks and taking care of those who are working to help their community, men like Kyle Wilkerson.
I don't have a boat. I can't retrieve things. I'm not the greatest swimmer. But like I said, I know how to feed a bunch of people.
And you have a heart to help. Wilkerson owns a catering company, and together with help from donations and more than a dozen volunteers, they gave away 160 meals to first responders and anyone else who needed it. Everyone needs to eat.
Yeah, well done. An Amber Alert right now. A missing teen was last seen at a Raleigh bus station. What we're learning about the investigation into where she may be.
And unfortunately, another round of storms is likely later on today. Everyone under a flash flood watch for today. I'll show you when the storms will arrive with this next round of storms coming up.